So Bradford City have announced the first deadline day departure as Kevin McDonald's contract has been terminated by mutual consent. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my full thoughts and opinions what the future could look like for Bradford City's midfield options. Now, as we all know, Kevin McDonald has been a player on the transfer list since at the start of the summer. You could even put it right back to the back end of last season, where he signed a 2-year contract last summer, obviously managed a few games last year, played in a few games as well, and he wasn't really the right fit. He wasn't really the right type of profile that Alexander was looking for as some competition for Richie Smould. And today at 4 o'clock, Bradford City tweeted saying Kevin McDonald has today left Bradford City by mutual consent. The article, and there's a little bit to read here which we will get into, and it's nice to see McDonald actually get a proper departure rather than thanks for your efforts, goodbye. But there is actually a little bit of a statement to read here. So the article does then read it: Kevin McDonald has today left Bradford City AFC by mutual consent. The 35-year-old departs the University of Bradford Stadium after just over a year in Claret Amber, having signed in the summer of 2023. McDonald made 8 appearances at the start of last season before taking charge of 7 as caretaker player manager following Mark Hughes' departure, winning 4, drawing 1, losing 2 and playing in 2 fixtures himself. He then made a further 13 appearances following Graham Alexander's appointment, taking his total for the Bantams to 23. Upon his departure, McDonald said, "I would like to start by thanking each and every one of you Bradford City fans for your incredible support throughout my time here. I was faced with some very different and challenging circumstances last season, but always tried to give everything for the club, and you thankfully recognised and appreciated that. You have all been immense. As a player, I was supported fantastically well from the start, and then even more so during my stint as manager, before I fell even more love when I returned to playing. I have really enjoyed my time here and made some great friends, but ultimately people move on in football. The club is in fantastic hands and I can only see success for it moving forward. Thank you to Ryan Sparks for everything he has done for me professionally and personally throughout my time here. He's been open and honest with me the whole time. It was a smooth transition into the player manager role and has been the same since. Finally, thank you to all the staff and in particular all the players who I have had the pleasure of sharing the dressing room with. The lads who were here last season understood my situation and were absolutely bang on throughout the whole process, as they have been as teammates. I wish everybody at the club the very best." A very classy statement from a very classy footballer. Every time that we heard McDonald speak, he always spoke with quite high pedigree. Obviously has played in the Premier League, but he always spoke with clarity, to the point, and in a very understanding manner. And that statement again, very classy, and I do genuinely wish Kevin McDonald all the best. I think this statement is very good for the club to put out, and it's nice to see him actually get, I won't say the send-off he deserves. You know, he's not like he's a club legend, but he still went above and beyond for Bradford City when he didn't really need to. He put the team before himself, and that simply has to get my respect. City's Chief Executive Officer Ryan Sparks said, "I would like to take this opportunity to thank Kevin for his services to Bradford City, both as a player and as caretaker manager. He bravely stepped up and took over the reins during the early parts of last season, and I will be eternally grateful for the time, his work and success in the role gave us in moving to appoint Graham Alexander as the next manager of the club. I hope the experience Kevin had with us will stand him in good stead for the future, and I wish him the very best. He will always be welcome back at Valley Parade. Bradford City AFC would like to thank Kevin McDonald for his fantastic service to the club in exceptional circumstances and wish him the very best for the future." I think obviously we criticise the club quite a lot because they do a lot of daft things, but this statement I think they deserve credit for and praise for, because I think it's the best send-off that he could get, in all honesty. Like I say, he's not a club legend, but he still went above and beyond when he didn't need him to. He put the team before his own playing career after the situation that he suffered many years ago now, and the fact that, you know, his playing career could have been cut short. He wanted to prove himself once again, and he's still wanting to play. He's 35 years of age now, and he still believes he's got more to give. His legs have definitely gone, but his quality on the ball is there for all to see. He's a brilliant central midfielder. Do I see him staying in League 2? Probably not, but I think wherever he does go now, it'll probably be the best for all parties. As we all know, he wasn't going to play this season under Graham Alexander. Like I've mentioned previously, Alexander likes that number 6 to be a Richie Smould type, a ball-winning midfielder, someone who's going to put a foot in, and McDonald's really not that player. He's much more get the ball down on the floor and do a really nice 10-15 yard pass. He never did anything outstanding. That game away at Newport, though, will never be forgotten. The assist he got for Ryan Tulloch's goal, every time I watch that back, I think, how on earth has he seen that pass? The quality is clearly there. It is just a shame that sometimes in football, you know, two things don't work out. Graham Alexander and McDonald's kind of vision and what he wants from the player and not being aligned, and that's fine. People move on. on, and obviously it has been going on over the summer. There hasn't clearly been the interest in McDonald. We will have to probably have paid up some of his contract, if not all of his contract as well, if he hasn't found another football club. I don't think I've seen anywhere that he has signed for another team at this moment in time, so we've probably given him 20, 50 grand, something like that, just to leave the football club, and then he'll go and be a free agent now and hopefully try and find a club and play some regular first team football, because unfortunately he wasn't going to do that at Bradford City this season. Before we go any further though with today's video, make sure to drop a like on there for me. We are aiming for 100 likes on today's video, and don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are now closing in on 10,000 subscribers. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below, just kind of a good appreciation message for Kevin McDonald, and what sort of standard do you see him moving on to next, and let's get back into it. In terms of McDonald's time here last season then, in total he made 19 League 2 appearances, 10 of them being starts. I didn't actually realise that he started that many games. He averaged 54 minutes per match, no goals but 3 assists in there, averaging 37.2 touches per 90. He created 5 big chances, averaging 0.7 key passes per game, with a 78% passing accuracy, 88% in his own half and 68% in at the opposition half, with 41% of his long balls being accurate and 42% of his chip passes being accurate as well. As we all expect, Kevin McDonald is very good when it comes to the technical side of things, but again defensively not particularly amazing, with only 0.7 interceptions per game, 1 tackle per game, 5.1 at balls recovered per game I think is quite good, but only 0.9 at clearances per game as well. He did commit to 2 penalty offences. One was saved, which was a Tranmere away, saved by Harry Lewis, although I thought that was a very harsh penalty, and the other one was scored away at Morecambe, so 2 under the Mark Hughes tenure. And in terms of his duel statistics, he wins at 47% of his ground duels and 53% of his aerial duels. He also picked up 6 yellow cards last season. Again, that probably does come down to his lack of pace, but you look at the pedigree and some of the clubs that he's played for, the likes of Sheffield United, Wolves, Fulham. This is a player that has been sold for millions of pounds in terms of transfer fees, and he is now coming to the end of his career. But having had that kidney transplant, there is still a lot more to give Kevin McDonald feels to playing football. I think whenever he does go into coaching and management, he's going to absolutely smash it, because I think from what we saw of him in the interim caretaker sort of charge, while he was still having to play in a few of their matches as well. I remember we got battered 4-1 away at MK Dons. McDonald was managing and also playing central midfield that game. Absolutely crazy stuff. I think he also played in the Grimsby game in the EFL Trophy, again managing and playing. This is a professional football club, and he did an absolutely brilliant job, and I thank him so much for his service, because without him, who knows what league we could be in this season. You know, we could be in non-league without him. With the way we were going under Mark Hughes, he steadied the ship, and he deserves a lot of credit for that, so I thank McDonald so much for his service and what he did for Bradford City. And finally then, let's have a look at how Bradford City's squad is now lining up for the 2024-25 campaign. I did my video earlier on today talking about Cheick Diabate's arrival at Bradford City, so make sure to go check that one out if you haven't already. As you can see though, we are desperate now for some competition for Richie Smallwood, even another wing back as well. I think another signing is probably unlikely. There's been an update as well on the Jake Young situation. I think Stevenage offered the same amount that Fleetwood had offered, and obviously Fleetwood got accepted. Stevenage have now had that bid rejected. Kean Harrott has also signed for Fleetwood now on loan, so it looks like they've moved on to other options, but it'll be interesting to see where Jake Young does end up. At the time of recording, there is 7 hours left of the transfer window, if my maths is correct there. 4 to 11, that's 7. Yeah, 7 hours left of the transfer window. But where do you think Jake Young will end up? Obviously, if there is any further transfer business, I'll get that out to you guys as soon as possible. But we are so desperate now for another holding midfielder. We really need some competition for Richie Smallwood, and hopefully we'll see a few other players to partner as well, the likes of Vidane Oliver, Tyler Smith, maybe an Alex Gilliard or a Jamie Walker. Still plenty of time left in the transfer window. Who knows what can happen in football? Transfers happen very fast, and I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out if any more business is to be completed today.